Greetings and salutations. Mike Jewell here, and I'm going to do my second beer video. This time I'm going to try to redeem myself and get the Mr. Beer West Coast Pale Ale to turn out correctly. I have brand new ingredients with the booster and yeast that is not 15 years old, so we're going to try to do this the right way and see if it turns out better. Here's my Mr. Beer setup, and if you look over here you can see I've been doing some homework on beer making, and I had a couple carboys set up for my next project. But for now, let's focus on Mr. Beer. Okay, so I just opened up that package, and you can see we have our pre-hopped malt extract. I have the one-step, no-rinse sanitizer, and the booster. The booster and the sanitizer did not come in the 15-year-old kit that I bought for $6, but they did come with the refill. And if you buy a current version of Mr. Beer, it should also come with both of these things, assuming you buy a recipe that comes with the booster and not just 2 cans of the malt extract. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pop the cap off of this guy. Here is our yeast, which I will set aside. And then I'll bring this guy over here to the stove, and we'll put it in some warm water. And this will make it easy to pour. Alright. Alright, so we got some very, very hot water going. Hot water is good because it kills bacteria. I have the thermostat of my hot water heater pegged up to about 140 degrees. Now, hot water alone might do the trick, but Mr. Beer is kind enough in their newer version to include this one-step no-rinse cleaner. However, you probably can't read that, but where it says directions, it says follow instructions that came with kit. Well, my kit came from 15 years ago, so it has no instructions. So what I'm going to do is just use half of this pouch. That way I'll have some left over for sanitizing my bottles later on. Alright, so here we go. So open this boy up. Oops. Spilling stuff. It's about half of it. So fold this up real good like this, and I'll put it in a safe place, aka on top of the microwave. So I'm going to fill this guy up with this hot, hot water, and the heat from the water alone should be almost adequate sterilizer. So 140 degrees will kill most things except for some very bad bacteria that are not common in a household situation. Shake it up, get it everywhere. Get some in the air gap. Shake up the air gap. Alright, let's open the spigot. Make sure it runs through the spigot. Alright, I feel like we're sanitized. So let's dump this homeboy out. And we're going to set it aside and just let it air dry. We're not going to rinse it, because Mr. Beer says you don't need to rinse. Whoops. This I will run some additional hot water on, because it touched the nasty insides of my dirty sink. Okay. Alright. So, that's step 1. Sanitize. Alright, now you see the water from my faucet is not so steamy. It is cold water, because step 2 is fill your beer barrel with 4 quarts of cold water. Mr. Beer makes this very easy because we have graduations on the back of the barrel, which you probably can't see with the resolution on this camera. But right here is our number 4 mark. And let's see. Our pitcher is filling. Cloop. We will take the pitcher like so, and we will begin to fill Mr. Beer. And we're not quite to the 4 quart mark yet. I think this is a 3 quart pitcher. So let's fill it up a little more. You guys can't see me, but I'm doing a little dance right now. Alright. Pan over here. And we are at the 4 quart mark right there. Alright. Okay, the next step of the Mr. Beer recipe requires a saucepan. However, last time I did this, my saucepan was too small. So you can see here, this is my pressure canner, sans lid. It's the biggest pot I have. This is what I will be using. I will be filling this. I got with 6 cups of cold water, and then bringing that to a boil. Once it is boiling, once it is boiling, I will be adding the extract, the pre-hopped malt extract. Alright, you can see we got a good head of steam here. My water has come to a boil. So according to Mr. Beer, we want to remove this from the heat source. So we'll turn the oven off. Put it on a cold burner. Alright. Okay. Then we will take our... Whoa, steamy, sorry. Seems like every video I make lately, my lens starts fogging up. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's very foggy. And so we're going to take this and add it to this. Let me set up this tripod again. Okay, let's see if you guys can watch me do this. We want to put this in very slowly and stir it as we pour, because we don't want it to burn when it hits the hot metal bottom. And I think this is a mistake I made last time. I think that's why my beer was so dark colored and it had that charcoal flavor that I described. I think that was because I let my wort burn on the bottom of the hot pan. So I think we can avoid this. And this already looks much, much lighter in coloration than the last wort did. The last wort was way, way dark brown straight from the get-go. So pour and stir, pour and stir, pour and stir. And the can is just about empty, but I don't want to waste any malty goodness. So what I'm going to do is whoop, I'm going to bring it over to the sink. Let me get some of this good old hot, electrically inefficient tap water. And I'm going to swirl it around in this can. Try to dissolve out the last little bit that's left in here. Because I want all of that malty goodness. I don't want any of this good malty stuff going in the trash. Alright. So we got that in the pot. Let's come back over here. Now, I'm going to add in this booster. And this also did not exist 15 years ago. And my 15-year-old instructions simply say, put in a cup of ordinary table sugar. If you want to increase the alcohol, add another half a cup to 2 cups of table sugar. So of course I put in a ton of table sugar, and I made really, really alcoholic beer. That's the best thing about the Mr. Beer Goes Wrong beer that I posted, is it really, really gets you twisted. It doesn't taste very good. It is drinkable. I've been drinking quite a lot of it this week. And it is very alcoholic. That is its one redeeming characteristic. And while I am inclined to put more table sugar in, this batch of beer is more about building my confidence. I want to make sure I can do this right without messing it up, and then I'll move on to something a little bit more challenging. Okay, now there's one more thing that my 15-year-old Mr. Beer instructions didn't tell me about, and the only reason I'm doing this is because every single other YouTube video I've watched of someone making this beer does this, and that's to boil the wort for 10 to 15 minutes. My instructions just say bring water to boil, add ingredients, then add to the Mr. Beer barrel, and then add cold water till you get it to 9 quarts. So I want to do this right. I don't have the modern instructions, so I'm just going to duplicate what I've seen people do on YouTube. So I'm just going to put this back on the big burner and set it on high till it gets to a boil. Then I'm going to let it boil for 10 minutes. Alright, bye. Alright, we are boiling away. So just a couple more minutes. Alright, we're done boiling, and now we're cooling off a little bit. The next step is to pour this into this. So I don't have a funnel. Let me see if I can do this without making a huge mess. Oh man, I am good at pouring. I am so good at pouring. Oh yeah. Wow. Nice. Don't want to waste any malty goodness. I'm going to put a little bit of water in here. Rinse it out. And I got room because this is supposed to, I think I'm supposed to fill it up to the 9 quart line, so I'm just going to get the rest of the malty goodness out of this. Because if there's one thing everybody loves, it's malty goodness.